And welcome back to another episode of my Cancerous Adventure with Biscuit. Biscuit, get the reindeer. Get the reindeer. Yeah, boy. Hey. Hey, not the camera. So what a week I've had. From my last vlog, you could see me, I got back into boxing. And guess what? The last 3 days, my wrist is absolutely cactus. I'm feeling good, which is good. So all this time, I've been told by oncologists all over the world that there's kind of no cure for peritoneal cancer and you kind of just have to, if you're lucky enough to live with it. Boy just won't leave me alone. And I was like, okay, if that's the case, I'll just take it. I'll take your advice and, you know, kind of shit because you're always thinking, well, they reckon there's no cure until some new medication or something comes up, you know, good luck. But in the last week, I met two amazing people. You know, I've had a lot of people reach out to me, like Reiki masters and all these spiritual healers, and good for them, but I'm like, I want somebody more science-based, you know, people with track records dealing with cancer patients. You know, I know a lot of these healers have helped cancer patients, and that's great. 3 weeks ago, I booked a appointment to see a guy by the name of Sean. 3 weeks, you know, you're kind of half decent if you've got to wait 3 weeks to see someone. So I saw this bloke this week, and he's been dealing with cancer patients for more than a decade. He said to me, what did your oncologist say in terms of your prognosis? And I said, well, he said it's not going to go away if we can just maintain it. And he's like, no, we're going to do our best to get rid of it. And then he went through the plan. You know, it's a slow and steady plan. I'm not going to get too much into it just yet. Yeah, that gave me hope, like, oh, okay, I don't have to live with this mindset of I have to live with this shit. So there's a lot of things. There's a lot of things to do with the head. I believe a lot of things to do with food. On the weekend, I met a guy by the name of Dave. Now, Dave is a very interesting character. He's beaten cancer himself without taking radiation or chemotherapy. His father passed away from cancer, rest in peace. His younger brother at a very young age had cancer and beat it. His cousin had stage 4 cancer rare and beat it. I met up with this guy that has been in the same boat as me. And this guy specializes obviously in a lot of things to do with the mind, nutrition. He lived 6 years in Thailand helping out people. And talking to Dave, he came back and said, just like Sean, like, you don't have to live with this. You know, you can give it a go to beat this once and for all. And just that news coming from two smart people that have been in the trenches for a long time, telling me, you know, there is a possibility you can actually beat this. So I'm on a new adventure with these blokes. On a different note, tomorrow, the 5th of May, 2021, marks a very kind of important day for me. I'm a big believer, this is just me, this is my 2 cents, so you can take it and not take it, you know. I believe I got cancer from being angry. The basic of getting cancer is this: we all have these cancer cells in our body, but it takes something to trigger them, something to turn the key for, you know, for it to start. And you know, and I believe in my heart of hearts, I did this from being a very angry soul for a very long time. Even talking to these two gurus, they, you know, they completely believe that theory as well. You know, one of my good friends that just beat breast cancer, she super smart, down to earth. You know, her theory is the stress from being a high-end lawyer caused her to get cancer. Once again, you can have a different perspective on it, but that's just my 2 cents. A lot of things trigger emotions. The 5th of May, 1998 is one of those triggers for me. I was in the Navy, young 19, 20-year-old bloke heading to Southeast Asia. I'm on this warship. It was a replenisher, so basically a service station at sea. We had 40,000 tons of diesel fuel on board. We're heading up to Singapore, and then next thing you know, half an hour after we leave, we're in, I think it was called Coburg Sound in Perth, Western Australia. I was part of a thing called Standing Sea Fire Brigade, which is I'm a firefighter, and if there's any alarms or anything, I and a group of, I think, about 5 in total, I can't recall, we're first on the scene if there's a fire, toxic hazard, or a flood. And these alarms always go off on the ship, and you think nothing of it, you know. But on this particular day, it was real. Like, we headed down to the engine room and we thought nothing, but before you know it, there was smoke filling up what we call the MCR, the main control room. And one of my good mates came from the engine room up, and there's nothing but black smoke. And I was like, what's going on? So you got to remember, I'm a 20-year-old kid. Like, I'm a kid. Like, I know a lot of kids that are 20 now think they're mature, but trust me, you ain't shit at 20. You don't know anything, especially if you're put in the way of a catastrophe, a potential disaster. And long story short, we had an engine room fire on a massive ship, and we lost 4 sailors that day. It was the first time I confronted death, first time I saw dead people. And like I said, my job was to be first on the scene, and I was first on the scene with my shipmates. And you know, it was to me it was like a movie. You know, a lot of people get into massive depression about it. To me, because I was so young and immature, you know, here I am, a week beforehand, I'm out having dinner with a good mate, and on this particular day, there he is, my good friend is dead, and I'm standing over his body in an Okabar, which is an open circuit compressed air breathing apparatus. I think I got that right. And he's one of the really good guys on the ship. Brad was his name, God rest his soul. He's dead in front of me, and you know, these things, it's so weird, right? Like, they trigger, I don't know, it triggers something, and we lost 4 amazing humans that day. The ship was about to explode. They reckon there was going to be a mini nuclear bomb going off, you know, in Perth. I mean, 40,000 tons of diesel fuel. Can you imagine if that went up? So the ship's company, there was about 100 of us, and then we had other warships assist us. And we fought all day and all night to put this fire out, and we did it. You know, the ship's company did it. We rescued the ship, and we lost 4 amazing souls. And to this day, a lot of people are still affected by this, and I'm not, but I am. It's shit, right? When a tragedy happens, and you know, going back to emotions, getting angry, and you know, like little things like that get me angry, because there was a lot of political turmoil within the Defence Force that the Navy wanted nothing really to do with it afterwards. You know, it's funny, you serve your country, and then when the shit hits the fan, people are like it's got nothing to do with me. And that really affected a lot. It didn't affect me, it affected a lot of people, but because it affected a lot of people, you know, they say shit rolls downhill. So I saw a lot of my good friends become alcoholics. I had a good friend who committed suicide because of it. He just post-traumatic stress. What I'm trying to say is that we all have something like this in our lives, whether it's a relationship gone wrong, you know, losing a loved one, it could be bastardization at work. Just be careful, you know, you gotta, you know, life really is too short. You gotta figure out a way, and I don't know how, because if you know how, let me bloody know. Somehow releasing that bullshit, because I'm telling you, like, it can trigger a lot of things, not just cancer, you know, depression and all of that shit. That's all I kind of want to say. Tomorrow I'll remember my fallen shipmates. But good people, that's the fuck thing about it. They were all good people, and they died, and that's what pisses me off. That's what gets me angry. It's like, it's so stupid. Why did the good people have to die so young? That's my qualm with the whole thing. But anyway, that's life. So that's my cancerous adventure for another day. Be good, a lot of love, and yeah, be good. Ciao, arrivederci, ci vediamo. See you, mate.
It is with great sadness that we do mark the 20th anniversary of the day that 4 young Australians gave their lives in service to their country. Midshipman Megan Pelly, a mere 22 at the time. Petty Officer Sean Smith. Leading Seaman Bradley Meek, again 25. Able Seaman Philip John Carroll, aged 23. They were 4 young people embarking upon promising lives and careers in the Royal Australian Navy.